Week 6 of Picking the Upsets Only. This is a contest I do with my buddy Broc. I'm going to get on to bringing him on quick tonight. Not so much flip-fluff and all this. We have some good conversation. I want to have him on here. We actually recorded this on Tuesday because he's flying to Tennessee to watch his Colts play. So what we do in this contest, just to get into it real quick, we can only pick the upsets, the underdogs. So we're picking upsets for the week. There's 14 games, and we can only pick the underdogs for those games. We go snake order, and we pick 5 each. So it doesn't matter how much the spread is. If it's 1 point, half a point, 10 points, anywhere in between there, it just has to be the underdog that we pick. And historically, 1/3 of all underdogs win in any given week. 2/3 of the favorites win. That's the historical spread on it. So any even spread line means you can each pick opposing sides. I say it never happens, but it did happen once this season. It rarely happens. So last year, I beat Broc 35-21. We do a contest all through the season. The loser has to pay for a golf outing before the season starts the next year. The very first video of this series was us golfing, and Broc paying for me last year. I beat him 35-21. This year so far, because of this last week, I've regained the lead. We've gone back and forth. That's the first time this has happened. We're going back and forth this year. I'm up 9-8 on Broc. So last week, these are the upsets that occurred. There were 14 games, and 5 of them were upsets. So it's very right in line with the historical trends. We've had some weeks this year that were huge upsets, 8, 9 upsets, and some weeks that were 1 or 2 upsets, which makes it very hard when you're picking 10, 5 apiece, and you're only getting 1. Makes it very hard to get those upsets. But this last week, the Texans were the upset over the Bills. The Cardinals were over the Niners as the upset. The Cowboys over the Steelers. The Dolphins over the Patriots, and the Giants over the Seahawks. Those were the 5 upsets that happened. Well, these were our picks from last week. I had the Texans and the Dolphins as 2 of my picks out of the 10 picks we did out of my 5 picks, and I got 2 of those right. Broc picked the Cowboys. That was his 1 correct pick, so I'm back up on him 9-8. All right, so here's this week's upsets. You can see the little bullet in them. That designates which team is the underdog. And you can also look at it, for those who don't understand sports betting, the plus number means that they're the underdog. They're expected to lose by 3.5 points. Top left corner, the Seahawks are expected to lose by 3.5 points. The lock symbol on the second row with Buccaneers and Saints. At this point on Tuesday, they hadn't decided if Derek Carr was starting or if Aiden O'Connell will start. So Vegas wouldn't let people put a bet on it, but the Buccaneers were favored on everywhere you looked. So we designated the Buccaneers were the favorite, and then we went into it. So let me pull Broc on here. We'll go into more explanation. We'll make our picks, and we'll go from there. Welcome, Broc, back on. I'm up 9-8 now. Broc, you feeling any better? You were sick last week, so we had to cancel this. You were sickly, nasty, disgusting, terrible.
Yes, thank you. Yes, I feel much better now. Actually, after watching the Colts play the Jaguars, I don't feel that good, but I'm a little healthier, yes.
Well, that leads in perfectly. The Bears. Now, it's kind of funny, full circle, because I said if the Bears would have played the Colts for 1 more quarter, we would have dominated them because we came back at the end. Same story with the Colts and the Jaguars when I watched that game. Yes. What was it, 21 or 24 points in the fourth quarter? What did you guys score in the fourth quarter?
I think it was 20 points.
20-something points.
It might have been 21 points, yeah.
24. I just pulled it up. 24 freaking points in the fourth quarter. Got dominated all game. I don't know. I mean, give me some insight there because it makes no sense to me. The Jaguars suck. This should be an easy win for the Bears.
It should be, and it should have been for the Colts, but we have a lot of injuries right now. But the other thing that I don't understand why we didn't do is go deep earlier in the game. We put in Alec Pierce in that fourth quarter who just burned their defense, and that's where they're weak is their secondary. So hopefully Caleb can throw some bombs to DJ Moore and Rome, and you guys can come up with a victory.
So you're saying that the Colts should have drafted Brian Thomas Jr. over Leatu Latu?
That he had a great game because our secondary is not very good. the guy that he burned all game is no longer on our roster. So
we talked about that all leading up to the draft. We talked about the main wide receivers, and I predicted that the Colts would take Brian Thomas Jr. That was my prediction. Yeah. And then you heard the rumors that they were trying to trade up to get Rome. So I kind of thought they'd still take wide receiver first round, but Leatu was sitting in their lap, and they needed an edge. So
Yeah, we both really like Brian Thomas Jr. It sucks that he's on the Jaguars.
Yeah, it's about the only bright shining spot for them right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, the thing I'm excited about is I watch tape on Trevor Lawrence. He becomes more and more of a bust every year. Like he can't. He throws two receivers. He doesn't look off defenders. He's very predictable. So that was why I was surprised. But your secondary is what's banged up. So that's the only reason I think he had a big
Our
game.
secondary wasn't good to begin with, and then it's banged up, so it's really bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
But at least, the Jaguars did pay him a lot of money for the next few years, so that should keep the Jaguars down for a long time.
That's how I feel about the Packers. You don't necessarily agree with me.
I was just gonna say it's my version of Jordan Love in your division. So.
We're both excited that our division rivals have signed massive contracts while we have young quarterbacks. How much was Joe Flacco? I mean, he wasn't cheap, but he wasn't expensive by any means.
I think it was $5 million, but he's got some incentives, so I don't remember exactly what the incentives were.
I think kickers take it up to like $10 million from what I remember, which is worth it for Flacco. He had a good game too.
Yes,
mostly in the fourth quarter, but
again when they put in Alec Pierce, our deep threat. So hopefully you guys can burn him deep like Alec Pierce did.
Well, you guys got the Titans this week. We've got the Jaguars. We're a home game, but we're 4,000 miles away from Soldier Field, so that's not really a home game.
Yeah.
And you guys are on the road to Tennessee, and Broc is actually going to that game. So we're recording this a little early. And
I'm actually starting to pack right now. You're interrupting my packing to Nashville.
No. But very, very sorry. Sorry to inconvenience you, sir. You're going there a couple days early. You're going to catch the Grand Ole Opry. He's going with his family. I wasn't invited because apparently I'm not family.
Well, you just went to Chicago and didn't invite me, so I'm just getting you back, I guess.
Actually, I did invite you, and actually you did invite me to Tennessee, so I'm just trying to be.
Oh, did it? There we go. I can't remember what happened weeks ago. Come on.
Well, I'm up 9-8. Everything is restored. Everything is good in the world again, but this is a brutal week. 14 games, and somehow we have to pick 10 of these. We got 3 out of the 5 upsets last week. We'll go back to that real quick. There were only 5 upsets. I don't know how anybody would have predicted the Cardinals over the Niners or the Giants over the Seahawks, but it was there for us. We just didn't take them. I got the Dolphins and the Texans, and you got the Cowboys. And now we sit here looking at week 6, and I think I get to go first, right?
It is your turn.
You went first last week?
Yep.
Well, I've been looking at it, and I'm going to take the Broncos. They're flying high. They've won 3 in a row, and they're at home. So I'm going to take the Broncos with my first pick.
That would have been my first pick, too. Well, I know you don't like this, and I don't particularly like it, but I am going Cowboys. They've been the ones that have helped me out a lot this year.
I don't like that you're taking it because I want to pick that against my division rivals. But if the Cowboys win, I'm happy with it because they beat the Lions. So I do like it. I just wish it was my pick. Yeah,
this has been a brutal week, and I am actually going to go Seahawks as my second pick. You never know what you're getting with the 49ers, so I'll predict that upset.
Yeah, Seahawks have had a rough year, or the Seahawks have started off to a good year. Niners have had a rough year. It's up and down for both of those teams, so I don't blame that pick one bit. I am going to go Commanders because even though they're facing the Ravens, and that's one of the bigger underdogs, they're just flying so high. I don't think their defense can stop the Ravens, so I think it's going to be a shootout game. I don't know what the over is on that game, but give me the over on that game because the Commanders are leading the league in points, and I think the Ravens are like number 2 or 3. They're both 2 of the top. I mean, just crazy. The Ravens have a better defense than the Commanders, though, so I think the Ravens win it. But I'm going to take the Commanders, and then I'm going to do it right off the bat just because I was going to wait for this one for a little bit, but I'm going to take it right off the bat. Cardinals have been up and down, but I hate the freaking fudge Packers, so I am taking the Cardinals with my next pick over the Packers.
Yeah, so far it's been right down my list, so this sucks. I was hoping you would do something different. This is where it gets really hard. I don't like any of these games. But, I'm going to go Giants, I guess, and I'm not confident in it.
Where's that one at? Giants against the Bengals? Well, Bengals have been, they're 1-4. They're not looking the best.
They've been bad.
Giants had a good week last week, and I don't know if Neighbors is healthy or not yet. I think they'll announce that later in the week.
Yeah, we'll see. Injury report comes out Wednesday, so we'll see. And then I guess I'll go back. I guess I'm going New York and New York for some reason. They just fired their coach. Maybe they'll. It's probably not a good pick, but like I said, there's nothing I like on this list anymore. So
You're struggling with this week. You're not happy with this one.
No, I've been looking at this list for a long time, and I couldn't come up with 10. I just finally wrote them down, and we'll see what happens.
All right, with my next pick, I have to explain it. So it's a lock symbol. We're doing this on Tuesday night. Everywhere has the Buccaneers as the favorite, but Vegas, these are all Vegas odds that we're going off of here. Vegas is not set a line. They're not allowing any wagering. So that's what the lock symbol means. They're not allowing wagering right now until they know whether Derek Carr is going to be playing in the game. But everywhere the Bucs are the favorites. So the Saints are the underdogs. So I'm going to take the Saints with my next one. And then, oh man, this is getting rough. This is getting bad. Is this my last one?
Yes, it is.
Okay, good, because I don't want that many more. I'm going to go the Raiders at home against the Steelers. I don't like it, but they're at home, and the Raiders did beat the Ravens earlier in the year, and they've got potential on defense. And it's rough for me to pick against Justin Fields because I do like him, but maybe they'll start Russell Wilson and pummel Wilson so Fields can start the rest of the year and get the Bears that 4th round pick instead of 6th round pick. I'm going to go with the Raiders.
Yeah, and we don't know who's going to be quarterback for the Raiders. Did they announce that O'Connell was going to, or whatever his name is?
No, they haven't announced. It sounds like Minshew's not going to be it, but it also sounds like he could. I mean, it's a mess. And
trade rumors with Devontae. It's just a mess.
Well, and then situation. Max Crosby on the hot mic saying things he shouldn't say. I mean, it's a hot mess.
Okay, so I got one more.
I
can't go. I can't go Titans.
And I didn't go Titans because I don't believe the Titans will beat the Colts.
And there's no way I can go Cleveland. They're that bad that I can't even predict that. So, okay. I'm not even going to go Jaguars. I'm not going to do that on your channel this time. I did that once, and I said to jinx them.
Do it to your own demise.
I'm going to go Panthers.
Panthers again?
I don't really believe it, but it's either Patriots, Jags, or Browns, and I don't like any of those, so.
You could take the Titans.
No, I'm not going to take the Titans. I did do that against the Bears, and it did work out for me, so maybe I should. But I'm staying away from that game. I'm going to it. I don't want to curse myself.
I got a secret for you, for my brother, who's the biggest. What's the right word for it? So jinx. Someone who believes in jinxes or
superstitious.
Superstitious. For my brother and for anybody else who's watching. Anything we pick or choose has nothing to do with the outcome of the game. I can guarantee
it is true.
But for some reason, I will not, and I wouldn't this week. I wouldn't pick the Jaguars anyways. That spread's not nearly reflective of what this game will be. It should be a blowout. But I also don't want to pick the Titans for the same reason. The Colts should be. I like Joe Flacco under center for him. I like that it gives Anthony Richardson more time to learn too. Yeah. What's his injury update?
We don't know.
No one knows, huh?
They said he'll be the starter when he's healthy is the only announcement. But like I says, injury reports come out Wednesday, so nobody knows what's going on yet.
Does it sound
he was limited all last week, so if he's limited again this week, I would assume he wouldn't play, but we'll see.
And I like Flacco starting all year for you to give him a chance to learn some more. He's still a young quarterback.
Yeah, but he also needs to learn on the field.
Yeah, that's true.
So.
All right, well, there's our picks. Let's see how this week goes. I'm up 9-8. It could flip on a dime. We could have 15 upsets in a week in 14 games. That doesn't work. But
I'd be surprised if there's a lot of upsets this week, but you never know.
I would be too. It seems really lopsided, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, there's a couple, like my Broncos pick. I think that's some of them, like that's the only one that I see is like, well, the Broncos are at home. They've won 3 in a row, and the Chargers aren't really clicking that hard.
Yeah.
So that's the only one that really screams that it should be an upset. The rest of them.
Yeah, that, like I said, that was my first pick too. So
we'll see how it goes. All right. Enjoy
Okay.
Tennessee. Hopefully, you get to enjoy a win. And
That would be nice.
we'll see you again next week.
Okay, we'll see you. Good luck, Bears fans.
Da Bears. All right, I appreciate Brock coming on as always. Always a good sport, especially even when I tease him about him being sick and sickly and joking about that. But I'm glad he's better. Glad he's able to go out and see his team in Tennessee, see the Colts. Hopefully, they get a big win. Those are our picks, though. I've got the Cardinals, the Commanders, the Broncos, the Raiders, and the Saints. And Brock has the Seahawks, the Giants, the Jets, the Panthers, and the Cowboys. Let me know who you guys think will win, either Brock or myself, because I think a lot of people who started watching this now as unique, upset-only picks are starting to realize it's not easy to pick the upsets, especially when teams like the Niners start to a rough season. And there's upsets every week that you can't predict, and there's only 1/3 of the games that end up being upsets, and you're having to pick. It's a little tougher than it looks. So let me know who you think's going to win. Is it going to be Brock, or is it going to be me this week? Let me know who you think your locks for those upsets are. And enjoy the games this week, and we'll see you next week.